Welcome back to the Co-OpCast. We're here with another guest. We're here to record and be with one of my buddies. His name is Siggy, or Zach, is what he goes by. Introduce yourself, man.
Hi, I'm Siggy. I guess Colin. I think Colin was there when Siggy was kind of adopted. We were serving a mission together for our church, and it just kind of stuck. With my last name is Siglin, so it just kind of flows really well instead of just kind of running off a surname.
Yeah, we're just here to call in an interview and just talk with you, man, about your past and about your gaming life and whatever. But do you want to start off with how we met and stuff on the mission? Because I kind of have vague memories of it, but I don't know. I don't know if you'd remember any better, your first memories of me.
I think it was, what was it? We were in the Gila Valley. I think that was the first time that we finally actually ran into each other.
This is in Arizona?
Yeah, in Arizona.
This was in Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah. And
cool.
I think you were one of my go-tos for food bank, just because you were actually one of the only people that was there to actually do something.
Yeah. You ran food bank, right? You're the one that makes the sheet.
Yeah. I put together the whole volunteer portion of it, I guess. But yeah, so we met through that, and then a couple of months later, we got the chance to hang out every now and then fast forward about a year and a half, and ran into each other at school, and just kind of hit it off. And every time that we're in the area, we just hang out.
Yeah, my first memory of you is really weird. I was with another elder. I won't drop his name or anything. But I remember the first time I met you, I feel was us calling you to get a ride somewhere. And then after that car ride, I thought you and your companion at the time, for those of you that don't know, when we're on a mission, we have another person with us at times called your companion. But we thought you and your companion were the weirdest people in the world. Just so weird. But then the next transfer, I got a new companion, you got a new companion, and at food bank I got to know you a little more, and I was like, this guy is dope. I love him. He's amazing. and then how we ran into each other at school was weird too, because it was I was walking down campus, and Siggy's 6 foot. What are you? 6'6", 6'4"?
6'3".
6'3". He was towering over everybody where he was, and I was just like, no.
Wait,
freaking
how
way.
tall are you?
I'm freaking 5'9". Get over it. Yeah, I was like, no freaking way he's here. And I went up and said, what's up? And then we've hung out ever since. So since we're kind of right now we're into gaming, and that's kind of a big portion of our life and whatnot, why don't you tell people what you're into, what you do, gaming wise?
So I started really gaming when I want to say I was a sophomore in high school. And in my first big game, we'd sit down in my friend's bedroom with the four of us around this tiny PS2 and a 14-inch screen playing Medal of Honor. For hours, and our dads were deployed, so it was just kind of it was one big family. And then we moved up to New York, and a friend of mine that I made up there was into Call of Duty. I think it was World at War had just come out, and so he and I started playing, and then I got it for my birthday that year, and it just kind of caught. And it had that the Medal of Honor feel, but then it gave me an opportunity to actually spend time with people outside of my my immediate area.
Yeah, just so you know, Carter and Sawyer, Siggy's 2 or 3, 4 years older than I am.
Okay.
And so his high school was our early middle school. His freshman year was our early middle school years. So just putting that in perspective, because Medal of Honor, that's a 6th grade memory for me. So
yeah, my memory with Medal of Honor was with you guys. I never owned it.
Yeah.
Was that we had it on the Wii.
Yeah, I was playing it. What was it? Rising Sun on GameCube.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Never even heard of that one.
Yeah, I've never heard
It
of
had
it.
it had 2 separate discs because the game was too big for one of the discs. So you got halfway
it
through the
was-
game and had to switch the disc.
Really?
Yeah.
It was so weird because you had to some of the multiplayer maps were on one disc, and then the other disc had the other half of the multiplayer maps. So if you wanted to play a specific one, you had to start it with the first disc, and then you popped the disc out and put the new disc in,
That's awesome.
which kind of limited it when you scratched the second disc.
Right. That's peak gaming right there. When you have so much content, you can't even hold it all on one disc.
I was looking up. I played Medal of Honor Vanguard. That's the one I owned on Wii.
Okay, I think that was the second. That was the second one I played.
Yeah,
It was only
I
for a
had
little while though.
good memories. The point and aim with the remote.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was saying is like we kind of have the section, but like sell us on your favorite game kind of thing or what you do. Like we had one with D&D earlier. Talk about like why you'd want to get into it or like what's cool about it. But like we're all already into Call of Duty. Like he doesn't really have to convince us. So what's your favorite aspects about Call of Duty? Like why is it such a prominent game to you?
I think a lot of it right now just has to do with the ability to actually keep up with people. Because my brothers and I we're all over the place, and so it's the opportunity to be able to sit down and just go, we're gonna have a night and play. I think some of it is the ability to play a little bit competitive, but at the same time, I don't have to maintain it so much that that my life has to revolve around it, which I think was a big issue with me with mobile gaming. Yeah, so just the casual side of it, but then there's also just kind of that with a lot of the drip feed of content that they've been kind of rolling with. It's kind of nice to have something that's regularly updating itself. I think with Call of Duty now.
Yeah. I see one of the problems with games is that they update too often, but like do you feel like Call of Duty just does it the right amount at each time? Because like we talked about Destiny a couple podcasts ago and how like you forget to play or you're not able to play for like 2 weeks, you're so far behind that it doesn't matter. Like you shouldn't play.
Yeah.
Like do you think that's not the same way in COD?
I don't think it changes that drastically that you can't pick it up again. I know just with this semester that I can probably play every couple of weeks for a couple hours, and I don't feel like there's been an update that's so severe that I can't modify my tactics or my strategies or any of the builds that I have in just a couple of minutes.
No, I would agree. Because the only Call of Duty game I've owned was Ghosts, and then I just picked up Cold War that just came out, and I even switched from console to PC. So just that huge change, I still felt comfortable. Like it still felt familiar to me, and I think that's what a lot of people would like about Call of Duty is that it's just kind of familiar with the little changes. Just that familiarity and just being able to pick it up and just play like 10 minutes. You can just play one match for 10 minutes and be done and just kind of be satisfied. Yeah. Or you can just keep going and going and going for hours. It's just kind of up to you and what your mood is for that day. And I think that's really cool about Call of Duty.
Yeah, that's something that a friend of mine pointed out. He's really big into League of Legends, and he's like, you have to really make sure that you have enough time to play a full match, because otherwise you leave halfway through and everyone gets pissed at you, and you really don't want something like that if you're not invested. Because one of his big issues was with World of Warcraft, where they give you so many excuses to keep playing, and it's he's like, I did it for years. He's like, I became addicted, but with a designated end to your gameplay, I think is nice. It just kind of gives a little more of a balanced time.
That's why I think I got into Rocket League so hard the other like last year. I played Rocket League for so much because the matches were 5 minutes long and like I don't know, it was easy to pick up, put down, and stuff like that.
Yeah, they fill in the cracks. CS:GO and League of Legends, they're like a full course meal. You have to sit down and fully pay attention, get into it. 40 minutes gone, but that's why I like Call of Duty. It's able to fill in those cracks give me a little bit of fun for a little bit. Get out.
You were ranked in Rocket League, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, if you play competitive, you can get ranked. I only got up to, I think, Champ 1, which is like the 4th from the top, but
Okay.
or no, like the 6th from the top because he goes Champ, Grand Champ. But I did play that game to death.
Okay.
I'm kind of glad I don't play it anymore.
I saw it was free on the PlayStation Store the other day, and I was like, should I? No, because I'm gonna flunk every course. Yeah, I think that's probably a lot of the reason why I haven't branched out. Like with you were saying CS:GO and what is it?
League.
And
I said those
Valorant.
League.
Oh, Valorant. Yeah.
I haven't played a whole lot of them, but I've seen gameplay of it, and I'm just like the amount of time that you have to put in.
Yeah, you have to practice
It's
and learn a lot of
outrageous.
things.
Yeah.
But you brought that up, Colin, how you were like addicted to Rocket League, and those are 5-minute matches. They're even shorter than Call of Duty, so you could even argue that you can get addicted to those short session games as well.
True.
So it goes both ways.
Well, and I think that's where Call of Duty's missing out on a business perspective is they don't have a ranked in Cold War right now.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so invested in Rocket League is because my rank depended on me playing every day and keeping up with the game and making sure my skills were good enough, being able to do the right aerials and double taps and things like that. I don't know. It sounds so nerdy now that I go back to it.
The right areas.
Yeah.
Siggy, I heard that you were into Clash Royale. I played that quite a bit.
Yeah.
After the first year it came out. I heard you were pretty high up in the leaderboards. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's I realize, going back to the short games, I guess it doesn't matter how long your match is. You just have to recognize where your vice is. Because I was pushing top 10,000 for about 3 months.
Like globally?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm clapping.
And it was literally hours each day, and each match is at the time it was no longer than let's say it was no longer than 4 minutes. But as soon as the match was done, I jumped into the next one, and then the next one, and the next one.
Yeah.
Because it's you have to polish every single skill, and you have to understand how fast each card is, the deploy rates, and get your timing down to fractions of a second, because it's the difference between winning and losing a match sometimes. Right.
Yeah, I couldn't get past my skill level. It got too difficult for me.
There was a point where I was no longer able to do it just based off of my skill alone. Because I don't know, for a mobile game, I'm 100% free to play. I don't use I won't buy chests or any kind of I don't even do the aesthetic stuff. So it was keeping up with meta gameplay using off meta tactics, which made things really, really, really interesting. But yeah, I think there was definitely a skill gap that you hit where you really have to spend hours and hours and hours just perfecting a really obscure strategy so that you can actually make it to the next win, the next bracket.
Right.
What kind of strategies do people like you, pros, use in that game? Because to me, I was never even above average, or I was below average. I didn't understand what I could do to improve my skills in that game. I felt like I was just tapping, and whatever happens, happens. You just kind of tap it and hope something good happens, and that's all I felt like I could do. Yeah. So I fell out of it quickly.
Yeah. So Clash Royale is the way that I read into it when I first started playing was it's real-time Magic, real-time Magic the Gathering. So you have a deck that you build with four cards. No, sorry, 8 cards. And each card has a specific skill. Sometimes they're spells and sometimes they're buildings or troops. And you have an elixir count that builds up. And the maximum that you can have is 10, and it scales the same rate for both players. And as you're playing through, these cards cycle, but you never have more than 4 in your hand, and so it's keeping track of what your opponent has in their hand at any given moment and what their elixir count is. Because once you can recognize where that rotation is, you can understand what their next play is going to be based off of what your response is to their previous action. But it's understanding the behavior of each card. Like if someone drops a tanky unit, there are strategies that involve using some very, very, very low elixir cost cards, which gives you an investment to be able to purchase something a little bit bigger the next time around. And while you might take some damage off of your towers, you actually put out more in a counter push that gives you the advantage in the long run.
Right.
It's not usually a strategy that a lot of people pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, a lot of the game on surface is just a lot of build your army really big and send it to the opponent, but there's a lot of finesse that goes into it, because otherwise you lose what you're actually investing in.
Yeah.
Because like to an idiot like me, if I see something big coming, I'm just gonna put something big back to it to stop it. It's crazy.
You've got to see for a golem, well, you might hit it with an inferno tower, something that scales and take some time to charge up, but once it does, it's pretty much going to zap it immediately. There are consequences to that, because before that golem actually hits the tower, you might respond to it with either, most people would think of a zap, but you can also intercept it with another card that's going to give your golem more of an opportunity to destroy the tower and distract, so that you can actually get a full counter push going in.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategy that gets you into the top 10,000, because a lot of people that I would play against, they would just deploy troops that they can barely afford with their elixir and just constantly bring their 3 elixir back to 0, and just whenever that reaches back up to 3 or 4, just drop another one. And it doesn't work that way. You have to be a lot smarter.
A lot of the time, you actually want to sit at your elixir count. You don't want to use it until you understand what they're about to do. Otherwise, you end up with an investment that doesn't work. If you drop a lot of elixir and attempt to get a large push, it can nuke it with 4 points. Now it's gone, and they've got nothing to hold them back from just wrecking you.
Do you guys mind if I do a really dumbed down version? Because like I understand what you're talking about, but like a lot of people out there aren't going to understand. Like what Clash Royale really is, like, and they can look it up on the App Store. But like, how I've always looked at it is is it 2 rows or 3 rows?
So it's 2 rows with a tower in the center and 2 on the sides.
So and you can send troops down either row to be able to go attack their base and things like that. And you have those cards that cost different elixir, and the elixir builds over time. I don't know. I just don't think that got put across very well.
Yeah,
and like,
sorry.
I don't want this to seem like gibberish to a lot of viewers.
I guess I've never sat down and tried to explain what I was doing to somebody without having it at least open in front of me. So it's kind of a new experience.
So you say you don't use the meta, or like you don't use the normal trend that people use because you didn't pay to win.
So yeah.
How more difficult did that make it to be able to get to the rank you were? Like, do you think it was like incredibly harder, or did you think you found like new ways, or like what could be new metas if people were watching you closely?
I found it was easier to, in some ways it was easier, because most people weren't prepared for what my what an off meta deck could do. They understood that if you swing hard and fast, there are only so many responses. But everyone built their decks to handle those responses. They didn't prepare themselves though to handle the weird and the unusual stuff. And a lot of them didn't take the time to understand certain strategies that went into some of the off meta cards. But yeah, I think to some degree it still was very challenging to understand to solve the puzzle. to see what needed to actually go into a deck to answer a problem in a really obscure way.
Right. And you mentioned that it would take you hours a day to get to your rank. And how
Yeah.
long did that take you? And how tired would you be each day after you were done?
There were definitely days that I went to bed and I was still working through problems with it. But I would say I spent probably between 4 and 6 hours a day
Right.
just practicing. And then even then, you can't guarantee that you're actually going to win. There's always going to be somebody better. But
Uh-huh.
there's just you have to keep rehearsing and rehearsing and rehearsing, and eventually you'll figure out, and it clicks. And then from there, you've got that one strategy down, and there's 1,000 more that you need to understand before it really starts to show in some of those the upper tier players.
Did we talk about how you got into mobile gaming? I don't know. I've never really been 100% in mobile gaming. I think the most I was in high school and like middle school, and like Doodle Jump and games like that were a thing. What got you into mobile gaming?
I think mobile gaming came. I think it started with. I want to say it was just little things. I didn't play Flappy Bird. I think that was before I really had access to anything.
Can we talk about how Flappy Bird just like took over the world for like 4 months? What the freak? What was that? But like, keep going with what you're saying. We could talk about it later.
No, it's I honestly didn't understand it.
Me either.
It was just like I just remember sitting there at the table, and for months, people were just sitting there, and it was the most pointless. I don't know. I'm sure that someone would look at my gameplay and be like, "What are you doing? You're stupid." It just seems so ridiculous that people were so obsessed with a simple game. But I think it started with Temple Run. Then I went on my mission and came back, and my brothers were playing Clash of Clans, and that exploded about a year into my mission. And I tried it for a little while, and I really didn't catch on. Clash Royale was really my first big mobile game that I started playing, and it stuck. I played it for probably, I want to say I played it for 4 years.
Wow.
Do you think because of school and the like time restraints you have with like college and things like that might have been like the push into mobile gaming? Because like, were you a super big gamer before? Like, I don't even know this. I just know that you play COD, and that's why I play with you sometimes.
I mean, I did. I did play quite a bit, but yeah, I think school definitely played a good portion of that. As being away from a console where I was tethered to a bigger screen and something that I couldn't carry around with me. That while I was either traveling or on campus, I didn't have access to it, so I had to do something. And I think I fixated on one particular game and just chose to get good at that one. So yeah, I think you're right. I think school definitely played a big part of it.
I've always felt like I've always been such a casual gamer with every game I play. Like even Madden. So Madden, I've played it since
07?
07, yep. And even though I play so many hours, it'd be sick to see how many hours of Madden I played. But I've always been so casual with it. Like I've never tried to become anything special with it, like try to master my skills. I just have fun with it. And same with you, Carter. Like you put so much effort into CS:GO to try to like rank, get higher up. And I'm just curious, did you put so much effort into Clash Royale because of your rank, or did you just do it because you really enjoyed the strategy of it?
I think it was a bit of both. I think at first it was the strategy. It was fun to be able to try to figure out what I needed to do, and I kind of, I don't know, it had fascinated me for a while. I can't, like, honestly, I can't sit down and watch a lot of sports, at least not on TV. Like if I go to an event, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
But gave me an opportunity to strategize and do something in real time. Then as I started to play and I started to look at like they came up with an update for a leaderboard and a global ranking system, and I started to see where I was, and I was just like,
Mhm.
I could actually kind of do this. But I think I hit a point where it was no longer fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just it turned into a chore, more than a stress relief. And there were times that I had very specific locations on campus that I knew that I should not open up the game because I knew that I was going to lose just because of the Wi-Fi connection.
Really?
Yeah. I would not connect to the Wi-Fi in my apartment because I was guaranteed to lose. It was just like it wasn't quite close enough. And the same thing went for New York. Like wherever it is that I am at home, whether it's the trees or it's just a dead zone, I can't do it at the house. I'd have to go and I'd drive out to the Y and sit in the parking lot and play there because otherwise the reception was just kind of lousy. And it was perfectly good for everything else, but for some reason it was just like the timing was just a little too finicky.
Gotcha. So, go. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say I think that was a big reason why I realized I had to stop is because I was dedicating so much time to it. I had to choose whether or not I was am I gonna go far enough with this to actually get paid to do it on an annual basis, or do I need to actually kind of start working at school?
So how did you feel when you officially stopped? Did you uninstall the game and just walk away from it, or did you just
it took
play
me
it a little less?
Honestly, I had gotten so much out of it that I quit cold turkey, and I really didn't think about it. It wasn't until Colin and I were talking about a week and a half ago. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to come on the show and do an interview?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he's like, "Yeah, so what do you want to talk about? It's based off of gaming, and I know you were big into Clash Royale." And he's just said it, and it was like a click, and I went, "Oh man, I should download that again."
Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry. You get addicted to it. I'm sorry. You got a
No, it's
wife
okay.
now. She'll keep you in check.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, I think I had gotten my fill of it, and I needed to walk away for a little while. And so it wasn't like it was I don't know, a lingering thought. It just it was just done.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is some people spend thousands of dollars on those mobile games. That's the good thing is that you didn't spend that money.
Yeah. Ever since I started again, it's been a relief that I didn't spend that money. But at the same time, there's always kind of that little what if I did? Would it have worked? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, I know this is a little off topic, but I have another question for you because I actually want to know this, and I've never actually asked you before. Why is your gamer tag AngryhamLincoln?
So I think a lot of it boiled down to the angry ham part was a little more intensity than I should have had as a kid when I was playing games, and then when my first job, one of the guys that I worked with was just like, "Does he look like a young Abraham Lincoln?" I don't know if it was because I was just tall, but
Do you guys think he looks like Abraham Lincoln?
I could see it.
I can see it, yeah.
I was gonna say you look like Brandon Urie from
Panic at the Disco.
Yeah, maybe it's just
I
in
haven't
his
actually-
camera. He's a stud though, so it's a compliment.
Well, thank you. So this guy, he just started talking about it all over work, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And the nickname stuck. I ended up just being known as Lincoln, and it got to the point that my name tag changed, and people didn't know what my actual name was, and some of my supervisors didn't even know. They're just like, who's this Zach kid? And then a couple of years down the road, I got back from my mission and was trying to set up my account again, and I couldn't. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna work this. I'm gonna work it in, and I set up AngryhamLincoln as a little bit of a play on a little bit of a past embarrassment, a fun nickname.
So that's really cool, man. So I kind of want to go into your past of gaming really quick about your favorites and things like that. What got you in a game, things like that. And then, as the listeners know, we have a sheet that if you want to fill out, you can become recommended to become on part of the show to be interviewed like Zach is here. So if you want to hit up our Discord, find that sheet and fill it out. But I want to talk about Pokemon because I did not know you were a Pokemon fan until you filled out that sheet and put one of your top 3 games as Pokemon Ruby. So why is that?
Okay.
What is so good about Pokemon Ruby?
Pokemon Ruby, my friends when I was living in New York were really into it, and I had begged and begged and begged for my mom to buy it for me for my birthday, and she's like, "No, I'm not going to buy you some silly game that you're not actually going to play." And then we had ended up moving that year, and she bought it for me because just like driving 10 hours in a car with a bunch of kids is not an easy thing to do, and she's like, if I get them each a game that they can play, um, it'll be a little bit quieter and I'll be able to drive safe and everything. And my dad was deployed at the time, so it made it a little bit challenging to get 5 kids moved and relocated in as a single mother. But she bought me Pokemon Ruby, and I played the life out of that thing. Then we got down to Virginia, and all of my friends, all of the kids on the street, were all Pokemon kids. And so we would just sit there and play for hours after school. And it started because we'd all started around the same time. So it was a race to see who could beat the Elite Four first and who could get their first level 100. And it was a lot of fun.
What would you say was your favorite Pokemon from that game? Just curious.
I mean, I started Blaziken, but I don't know if that would be my favorite.
Oh, okay, so it's those starters. I was
Yeah.
trying to remember.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember which starters it was.
I kind of was it Shedinja
Shit Ninja?
was a I'm trying to remember what its first 2 forms were, but I know that it was
Ninkata.
really obscure.
Ninkata, and it evolves into Shed Ninja and the other one at the same time. What's the other one name? Do you know? Carter and Sawyer?
Mm-mm.
That's right.
No, I don't
It's-
know. Ninjask?
Yeah, Ninjask.
Yeah,
I just looked it up.
I thought it was so cool because you could split the Pokemon, and then it was basically indestructible as long as you were fighting anything that didn't have a physical based attack. So it had to be psychic or elemental.
Something like that.
But if it was like a fighting type or a normal or rock or ground or anything like that, like it just did no damage to it.
Because I think it was 1 HP, but the only moves that hurt it were super effective moves. So
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
which is kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just that I like the weird stuff. To explain my off meta interest.
I remember we played Diamond a lot when I was a kid. Diamond and Pearl. That was my game.
Mm-hmm.
And we would do the same thing. We would play right next to each other. And at that time, I think you could do like wireless trading and stuff, which was really cool. But I did play Ruby when I was a lot younger.
Mhm.
I picked Ruby out of the other ones. What is it, Sapphire and
Emerald.
Emerald.
Ruby and Sapphire.
Fun fact, Ruby is actually the first full-on game I think I beat by myself in my life.
Aw.
So it holds a special place in my heart, and that's why I was just like, no way Pokemon Ruby is one of your favorite games, because it is very nostalgic for me.
What was your starter off the bat?
Same, Torchic to
Playthroughs?
Blaziken. Yeah.
I was
I
the
think-
weird kid that picked Trico.
All 3 of the starters in that game were amazing, though. You can't.
Yeah, they were
Can't
all really
lie.
clutch.
Like, Swampert's amazing as well. I think my favorite, like, looking Pokemon of that whole gen was Metagross.
The
Dope.
steel
Yeah.
Pokemon.
With 4
with the-
legs.
Mhm.
With the big old X across its face.
Yeah.
Well, I got one more question for you, and then we probably should wrap up. We're getting to that time. But if we could go back in time to a specific Call of Duty game, what Call of Duty game would you want to go back and play and experience for the first time again?
I think it'd have to be Black Ops 2.
That is why you're my friend.
I know it might be a little controversial because I know that everyone really loves Modern Warfare 2. I never played the Modern Warfare series until this more recent one came out, and
Really?
I was just I don't know. As a kid, short on change, I couldn't afford to buy the newest Call of Duty, so I just chose to offset my cycle, and I just bought the Black Ops series. But I just remember hearing rumors that it was going to be split screen multiplayer, and knowing that my brother and I could actually sit down and play together, and knowing that he was pretty good at the game himself was a lot of fun. And then all of the camo challenges, it was a lot of content that didn't make it stale, I think is what it was.
Oh, it's
I
gone.
was gonna say my favorite Call of Duty, the one I'd go back to is Call of Duty just the first Black Ops, because that's
Black
the
Ops?
one with that's the one where you break out of jail, right, with Woods, and you find out at the end that Woods was dead the whole time, or something.
With
Spoilers, bro.
Reznov, yeah.
No, sorry, Reznov. Yeah. So me and Peyton, me and my brother, we got an Xbox 360 for the first time, and we got Call of Duty Black Ops, and we didn't have gold yet, so we were forced. I don't play Call of Duty campaigns, but I played this one because we were forced to. We didn't have gold yet, so we stayed up all night playing the campaign, and it was so much fun. Breaking out of the jail with Reznov on the motorcycle, breaking through. And I probably put the most time into this Call of Duty. I'm looking at the images. It's a good game, but I don't have very many memories of Black Ops 2. I'm trying to look at that. Remember that one?
I was just gonna say it's what is it, 2025? The story or 23?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We're getting there.
it's a little
So
different, but
it's a little more futuristic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember they had this little like spider that you could do in the campaign. And like, is this like
Oh, yeah.
robot spider?
I think they had that one as a kill streak too.
Oh really? I don't remember. I just remember the sniping in that game. Like, I loved it. The DSR, amazing.
I remember when they nerfed it. It was one of the first times they actually actively nerfed or buffed something, and everybody was just like, "This is stupid. Like, why are we playing this game?"
They're changing it on us.
Well, you guys got any more questions?
I got one. Have you gotten into Warzone recently? Because it seems like a new thing that Call of Duty has done within the past year and a half.
I've really enjoyed Warzone. I like the fact that it is a free to play option. I feel like it's a different rush. It's not the run and gun that you can kind of you can have fun and die and just be good with it. But yeah, I definitely have enjoyed my time with Warzone. I've gotten more intense firefights and better moments with a squad than I've had in multiplayer and in
Cool.
core multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry, you've been playing that lately, right? Because I only played when it was in the beta.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my brothers just picked it up last week. We played a bunch of Apex, so we switched over, and we're loving it right now. Something about the realistic graphics and the soundtrack is so good with the planes that fly over. It makes you actually scared a little bit as you're playing it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, are you familiar with other battle royale games, or are you mainly on Warzone?
I'm familiar with a few. I played a little bit of PUBG, a little bit of Apex. I've not touched Fortnite.
Yeah.
I felt like
Which
that was
is
a
rare.
PC world that I should get into. Like I've watched gameplay of it, and I've watched people just demolish console players, and I don't have a PC rig, so I just felt like I wasn't going to have the edge to make it even enjoyable.
So as I've been playing it, I've noticed to me what separates it from the other battle royale games is the armor aspect of it. I feel like every fight you're in it, you're actually you never feel overpowered by someone else because everyone's stuck with the same armor. While with Apex, you can have insanely strong armor, and you're never able to find any. Which
Yeah.
I really enjoy that aspect of it. I'm always in it to fight.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely gives you a more level playing field. You don't feel like you're right. You don't feel like you're struggling to win. There's definitely a struggle, but there's not a. It doesn't feel like there's a curve that you have to grind to get over.
I should pick it up again. try it out with you guys. I never really gave it a chance.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know. To me, Call of Duty is just the best smooth FPS to me. I just love the way it feels, the way they make it look, and it'd always be my favorite. The way they make the game run for a first-person shooter.
What was it with Infinite Warfare? I switched over to Battlefield 1 for a little while just because it had been getting stale. But yeah, for the most part, I would say Call of Duty is the leading first person.
I feel personally that Call of Duty is the best casual first-person shooter that anybody could pick up and have a good time with at any time, and it does have competitive aspects like search and destroy and like that stuff like that. But if I really want to get into a really competitive game, like this is just my opinion, I'd rather have those longer games like League of Legends or Counter-Strike or Valorant. I'm not really into League of Legends, but like Counter-Strike and Valorant, I don't feel like I ever get the feeling of like what those games give me in Call of Duty, where it's just like it's intense. My heart gets beating and like especially in those like 1v2 situations and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just like if I'm looking for that very, very competitive side, I tend to go to those games just because like it's fun. But like I feel like Call of Duty's hit the niche that like it is the most like can hit most of the broad spectrum of people. Like
Yeah. And that's why it's popular.
like you can have somebody gaming for the first time ever and they can be okay at Call of Duty. Like I guess not the first time ever, but still.
Yeah, you put someone down with Call of Duty, and they could probably get one kill. But if you put them in a Counter-Strike match or a League of Legends match, or something like that, you are asking them for a bad time.
Dude, I remember like my third game playing Counter-Strike with you, Carter. Like when I got more than like 5 or 10 kills in one game, I was just like ecstatic, and you're just like dropping 40 bombs over there, like a jerk. So that's just my big point with it. I love Call of Duty and I love those other games too for their individual purposes.
You can pick it up without too much difficulty. I know my brother has been studying for med school, and he can still just kind of pick up a controller and join us for an afternoon or an evening. And even with 3 or 4 month breaks, he can still have a good time and enjoy himself. But yeah, it just makes it user friendly.
Oh yeah, sweet man. All right, well we'll wrap this up. This was a fun time getting to talk about gaming and stuff with you.
Yeah, you're a chill dude. I like you.
Might have to play Call of Duty with you soon when you get Cold War. Y'all for watching. We're gonna dip out for now. Like we say, like, share, comment, do whatever you need to do. Please join the Discord. That's where we get to know you guys the most and be able to like talk with you and maybe hopefully get to interview you like we did with Siggy here today. And you can find us mostly anywhere you can get podcasts. So thanks for listening and deuces.
See you guys next week.
Peace.